let's start with identity crisis. And again, because the purpose of recording and filming, I know you know what we have to do, but I'll just say it again. You're going to read the story to me. I'm going to score your reading fluency and your pronunciation without any corrections. And then you're going to tell me about the story again, about these people. And then after that, I will ask you a few questions about the story, and you'll give me your answers in your words so I can test your use of vocabulary and grammar in speaking and comprehension, of course. All right, so when you're ready, go ahead and read.
Okay. Identity crisis. In the
crisis. Yeah,
crisis.
not say crises, but crisis. Yeah, a bad time.
In the Bonnet trilogy, Jason Bonnet has acute amnesia. He spends 3 films trying to recall his own past. I don't know who I am, he says. I don't know where I'm going. None of it. And in a 1996 film called Memento, the main character, Leonard Shelby, tries to solve a number even though he has no short-term memory, which means he cannot remember what has just happened or store any new memories. These 2 kinds of memory loss provide exciting plots for thrillers and mystery stories. But in real life, they are not so entertaining.
Yeah, it's all right in the movies. It makes for an interesting plot and interesting stories, but in real life, it's not quite so good. So that was just an example of Jason Bourne when he plays the secret agent when he doesn't remember what happened to him. All right, so now we're going to read about the story about Emily's story, what happened to her in real life, and Henry. So let's read about Emily's story first.
Emily's story. One day in September 2001, a 33-year-old woman from Texas, USA, got into her car and began to drive to work. She can't remember exactly what happened next or why, but 10 hours later, she was still driving. She had driven all the way from Texas to Santa Fe. About 1,000 kilometers. She didn't know anyone in Santa Fe, so she checked into a motel.
Motel, yeah, street hotel, cheaper place.
And then the situation got worse. When I woke up the next morning, I sat up and I didn't recognize the room. She said, I didn't recognize the bag that was sitting on the chair or the clothes that were lying over the chair. I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I didn't know my name. When the police found Emily and took her back to her family, she didn't recognize her own children. Emily's doctor concluded that she had a condition called dissociative.
Yeah, don't worry about the pronunciation. I can't even pronounce the medical terms properly. This is not medical school, so it's okay. She had a condition that affected her eyes. Yeah, so keep going.
Patients woke up one day lost. They have no problem remembering new information, but they have lost most of their past. There is no physical damage to the brain. For this reason, many doctors doubt these patients' stories Perhaps they are using memory lost as an excuse for starting their life again. In most case, in most cases, including Emily's, they gradually make a recovery.
Mhm. Okay, so let's do Henry too.
Henry's story.
Challenge you a little bit here.
Henry known for years as HM is the most famous amnesia in medical history. His brain was damaged during surgery, and as a result, he suffered from a condition called anterograde amnesia.
It's very tough.
Although he could recall his childhood clearly, new experiences disappeared from his mind after a few minutes. He lived the rest of his life in the present, unable to remember what had happened 5 minutes earlier. It's like walking from a dream, he said. Although suffers from anterograde amnesia, cannot memorize new information. They can learn new skills. For example, patients who have guitar lessons gradually get better and better at guitar. But every time they play, they believe that they picking up a guitar for the first time. Henry lived with his condition for about 50 years. His memory did not improve in that time. Suzanne Corkin, a neuroscientist, student Henry's
Neuroscience, yeah, the connections, yeah. Science.
neuroscientist, student Henry's condition for more than 40 years and visited him regularly. But each time she arrived, he introduced himself as if they were meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
One day,
Go ahead.
One day, Dr. Corkin took Henry to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US for tests. As they were walking along a corridor, she asked him if he remembered where they were. Of course, he replied, we were in MIT. Dr. Corkin was shocked. Had his memory suddenly improved? How do you know that? She asked him. Henry laughed and pointed to a student who was wearing an MIT sweatshirt. Dr. Corkin realized that Henry's memory hasn't come back, but at least he had remembered her of his sense of humor.
Yeah. So his memory didn't come back. He just saw someone with a shirt, MIT. Oh, of course, we're at MIT. What? Really? You remember? And of course, there was no memory. Just nothing changed. That's unfortunate. Imagine, because of a surgery that went bad, and you can only remember the last 5 minutes all the time. You can't remember anything that happened yesterday. That's terrible. It's unfortunate that some people don't have all the advantages that we have. We're so lucky and we take it for granted. Take it for granted means, we complain that, oh, it's not fair. But yet you realize, you have it so much better than many other people. Yeah, it's tough. So what was the big difference between Emily and Henry's story?
Then in Emily's story, she cannot remember anything. She didn't recognize her own children. Yeah. But in Henry's story, he can remember what happened 5 minutes earlier, not like forgetting everything like Emily.
Did Emily have friends in Santa Fe when she drove there?
No, she don't. No, she didn't. She doesn't have any.
No, she just drove there. She doesn't know why, yeah? Emily
Yeah.
had a husband and no children? Is that correct?
She have children.
Yeah,
She has.
So sometimes, do doctors think that people are faking that they have amnesia? Or it's always, oh, they must have amnesia. Do doctors ever question what people say when they say, I can't remember, I can't remember?
Yes, they doubt.
Yeah.
They have doubt.
Do you remember why? Do you remember why some doctors doubt that the patient is telling the truth? It's a bit of a tough question, but why do doctors think some people fake it?
Maybe because they don't have any physical damage to the brain.
That's
They
true.
suddenly forget.
That's true. So that's one of the reasons why they don't believe they're telling the truth. So someone has no damage, but then says they have no memory. Why do doctors think they're making up stories?
Oh,
Man.
the doctor think that they are using the memory loss as an excuse for starting their life again.
Yeah, sometimes people think if they can play amnesia and they can forget everything recently, maybe they can just kind of disappear and start their own life again. Who knows? Yeah, that's true. What about Henry here? Oh, how long did Emily's amnesia last? She got her memory back, right?
Yeah.
Did Emily recover? Did her memory come back?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember here now. They gradually make a recovery. Stories that eventually some people do regain their memory. Right? Let's say about Henry here. Henry lost his memory because of a car accident?
No,
Why did he?
he get lost the memory when he in the surgery and his brain was damaged.
Yeah, he suffered brain damage from a surgery. Henry, even though he suffered brain damage, does he still remember being a child?
Yes, he can remember his childhood.
Yeah, he can remember his childhood, just not his adult life, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. What happened when Dr. Corkin kept visiting him every day for some almost 40 years? Did he ever remember his doctor?
Yeah. When the doctor arrived, he introduced himself as they were meeting for the first time.
Yeah. Can you imagine every time you come to class and I'd be like, Chi, nice to meet you. Welcome to join our class. I know you for the class, but every time I see you, it's like the first time I see you. That would be strange, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he doesn't recognize people. Yeah, there's a lot of stories like that. So my last question would be, which one do you think would make a better movie? The woman who all of a sudden wakes up and drives 1,000 kilometers away. So basically like almost Hanoi to Saigon and doesn't remember anything, and you could make a story about that. Or someone who had surgery that can't remember anything after 5 minutes. Which one do you think would be more interesting to write a story about?
Maybe Emily's stories.
Yeah, maybe Henry's story.
Yes.
What did he say about, what did the doctor, the writer, I guess it was, what did the writer say about people with this kind of amnesia learning guitar?
The writer says that in most cases, they gradually make a recovery. They just act like they forget everything and want to start their life again.
No, when he talks about in cases where like someone would start learning how to play a guitar, what happened? Do you remember that?
Play guitar.
Yeah, they said with Henry, remember? They said that some patients can't remember what they did 5 minutes ago and they can't remember who they met yesterday. But in some cases, when these patients have gone to guitar lessons to learn how to play the guitar, what happened?
They can learn how to play, but every time they pick up the guitar, they believe that this is their first time.
Yeah, exactly. So can you imagine you say, I don't know how to play the guitar, and then you pick it up and it's like ding 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 ding. What's going on here? And they don't, and then they learn new things, and then tomorrow they come back and they can play more guitar, but they don't remember how they learned.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Yes, I hope none of us ever have to experience anything like that. It's unfortunate. That's for sure. You did very, very good today, Chi. At least we got a very good test from you today. I'm very, very happy with it. Very good. Very, very, very good.
Thanks.
All right, so that's it. We're gonna finish up now. And again, we'll start up again next Friday. Interest 26, but you did very good. You and Nona both did very good on your test. All right?
Good night.
Okay, good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.